In this video, we'll walk through a flow diagram a majority of our media buyers use to help with decision making. Again, this is all surface level stuff, not really diving too deep, but it should guide you guys in the right direction and how you should be thinking about media buying in 2024. So this is what I've actually built out based on my previous years at the agency and also just media buying on majority of accounts. This is something that's helped both myself and other media buyers when we're actually out going through some decision making on accounts. So at the top of the flow diagram, we have a CPA target. Now the CPA target also closely correlates towards what our contribution target is per day, and we work backwards from there. So for example, every day we'll have a contribution margin target, and then we work downwards and we'll calculate what our target CPA is based on our daily spend. Now the first decision we have to make is, does yesterday's CPA target, are we hitting yesterday's CPA target? Is it a yes or a no? If it's a no, we kind of walk through the next step, which is, have you waited 4 to 7 days? This 4 to 7 days period is something I'd recommend, especially when you're launching new tests. What we've noticed on majority of our accounts is, regardless of budget, when you wait around 4 to 7 days, usually around the 6th or the 7th day, things can turn around. Again, it can be very seasonal as well, depending on what day you launch the test. For example, if you launch a test on a Monday, but your brand tends to perform better on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, then you might want to wait for the whole week to pass through before you actually make a decision on whether or not to kill the ad. So let's say we've waited 4 to 7 days and we go, yes, are we at the minimum spend? Now the minimum spend is the minimum spend on your account. And if that is yes, let's not decrease the spend, and let's message the team lead for the strategy and discuss what needs to change. Maybe it's a new offer we need to run. Maybe all our creatives aren't performing and we have high cost per clicks. Maybe we need to change the type of creatives. Maybe we need new hooks. Talk to the creative team around that and make some better decisions. Maybe there's something around the product that's not working. We're getting a lot of refunds and that's flooding our Facebook comments, which means people aren't actually purchasing. I would dive deeper into this section here and figure out as a team why things aren't working and what needs to actually happen in order to work. If we aren't at minimum spend, then I would recommend decreasing the budget by 19%. The reason for 19% is anything around 20 and above, it usually restarts the learning phase. Again, feel free to believe this or not, but this is something we've seen happen on a lot of accounts, where if you do increase it or decrease it, at that 20% threshold, it usually has some sort of effect with the Facebook algorithm. So we like to stay around this 19% mark and make sure we either increase or decrease based on that number. Now, once that's been done, your SMB check is complete, and then you kind of navigate back up again when you're starting the next day. So we apply the same principle to all accounts and make sure we follow the same principles here. Now, let's say you have another scenario where you have waited 4 to 7 days and instead of going yes, you go no. So very simple, you just wait another 24 hours until you kind of hit that mark here. There's nothing real special around this flow and you just go straight into SMB check complete. So the more interesting part is, let's say, yes, we are hitting our CPA targets. This is great. Let's navigate over towards this side of the flow. Is the CPA trending in the positive direction? Now, just because you hit the CPA target for one day doesn't mean you should be increasing the budget. These CPA targets can depend on a lot of things. Maybe it can be delayed attribution. Maybe it can be there was a sale on one day for 24 hours only and you hit those CPA targets. But if you went ahead and actually increase those budgets, then that's actually going to overflow to the next day and you might have a higher CPA and then you'll end up navigating towards this side of the flow. So I like to see how we're trending last 2 to 3 days. Is it in a positive direction? If so, if it's a yes, cool. Let's request an increase in spend from the team lead or whoever's leading the client relations. If you're leading the client relations, great. Talk to the client, tell them where we are at the daily spend and ask if it's possible to actually increase the spend by 19% and show them what expected CPA could potentially look like, and let them know we're going to be monitoring it every day once we've increased the spend. Once we've gone ahead and made that change, what I like to do is send the creative that we're increasing the spend on, or if it's the campaign, like to send those top performing creatives straight to the creative team. What this allows us to do on the creative end is start making iterations or some variations on these creatives and gets us prepared for the next set of tests that need to go live. And that allows us to mostly scale the campaigns and the account much faster because we're pumping out more top performing content. So feel free to send the creative team more top performers and make sure they get some more analytics or feedback around why those creatives are working well. Maybe you found some particular comments on those creatives. Feel free to also send that when you're sending through the top performing creatives. But let's say once you've gone ahead and sent through the top performing creatives, simply complete the SOP here. Now let's say the CPA is trending in a positive direction, but it hasn't been 2 to 3 days. So we go down this side of the flow and all we have to do is similar to the other side. We wait for 24 hours and make sure we hit that time window, and then we go ahead here and SOP check is complete. Now you want to tailor this ideally to whatever your North Star goal is. If it's a ROAS goal, great, feel free to tailor it. The only problem with ROAS is if you have a brand with an AOV that fluctuates a lot, it can be difficult to monitor what those targets actually look like. That's why I prefer to go on a CPA basis, that, if we have a blended ROAS or an average ROAS, and then we can set an average CPA that we should have for an account or a particular SKU. This is a great way to optimize on the account. The media buyers on our team like to do a combination of two things. We look at both target CPA for the day. Ideally, in our scenario, it's new customer CPA and new customer ROAS. And then we compare that with contribution margin and see how we track day over day, and also on a weekly basis and a monthly basis. Now, the contribution margin targets also help us set both the target CPA and also give us an idea of how we're trending day over day and also week over week. So that's a wrap for this video. If you guys had any questions or comments, feel free to add it below. Again, like and subscribe. It helps me grow the channel and provide valuable content, and I'll catch you guys next time.